Hey, and welcome to the Big Bear Homestead. Today, we're building a chicken tractor. Alright, so let's talk about building this chicken tractor. This type of chicken tractor is not a permanent chicken tractor. It's not one that you're going to run all year long. This is just a lightweight chicken tractor to run your meat birds on through the spring, summer, and pushing it into the autumn. We're going to go over the list of materials and tools that you need first, and then we'll get to putting it together. So let's go over the list of materials and tools that we need. Materials, you need 3 2-inch PVC pipes, 5 1/2-inch PVC pipes, 1 3/4-inch type of pipe. This is electric conduit. We found this in the farm. It was out in the woods when we were clearing an area, but you can use PVC or you can use that. Chicken wire. We're using a 4 by 50 foot roll. We're also using a reflective, heat resistant cloth that will cover the coop with for their shaded area. You're going to need 4 3/4-inch PVC 90s and 4 2-inch PVC 90s. You're going to need zip ties. Alright, let's go over the tools. The tools we need: hacksaw, snips, PVC glue and primer or an all-in-one, a razor knife, pocket knife, something to be able to cut that with, a marking instrument, tape measure, straight edge, hole saw. Now, since we're using 1/2-inch pipe, we're going to go with a 1-inch hole saw. And when it comes to drilling in the hole saw, you guys can use your drill. I'm going to use my drill press just because it's easier for me that way. So those are the list of materials and the tools you need. Let's start putting this puppy together. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to punch our holes for our 1/2-inch pipe in our 2-inch PVC. Now, you will need a little helper. So I brought my little helper. Say hi, little helper.
Hi.
To the camera, say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so the very first thing you want to measure in is you want to come in 2 7/8 of an inch to account for your 90. And you put a little dot. Now that's going to be where you punch your first hole. Hold it right there on that dot, sweetheart. Got it? Mm-hmm. Then you want to come down 47 inches. I'm sorry, 46 inches. And make a dot. And do the same thing on that side. Come in 2 inches 7/8. Come up to your 46 inches. And then what that will do is give you a door, a spot for a door on one that is roughly 21.5 inches. Hold that right there, sweetheart. Ooh. And boom. Okay. Now, you just punch your holes in on this one. Alright, so we're going to drill our first hole. It's another reason why I like to use a drill press as my laser sightings. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm setting my stop so that way I don't accidentally punch all the way through my pipe. So now that I've got that one done, I can rapid fire from here and just go down on my dots. Okay, we just got done cutting that one pipe. Now the only problem with a hole saw is that what you take out ends up staying in here. So what you got to do is it's a little warm. Is just clean it out. So we'll clean this out and then we'll get started again. So now it's time to put the 90s on so that way we can make our big rectangle. Get your PVC glue and primer. It's almost time for me to get a new primer. Prime the inside of your PVC pipe and the outside of this pipe. Then take your glue, which we didn't open up beforehand, and do the same thing. Glue the inside, glue the outside of your pipe. Inside of your 90, outside of the pipe. Now, I've always been taught, okay, you got to make sure your holes are up, straight up and down, but I've always been taught to put your pipe on and then twist. That way it gives it a good seal. And do your best to eyeball it all up. I mean, it's not rocket science. Hold it there for a few seconds. I keep saying it's rocket science and I can't get it straight. There we go. Then it's good to go. Do the same thing on the other 4 sides. We'll come back after we got it done. Okay, now your next step is going to be to cut your last remaining 2-inch PVC in half so that way you can have to make your rectangle. So get your hacksaw, mark it out where it was in half. We already done that. And let's go ahead and cut it. You might want to move, Apollo. Told you. All right, now we have our 2 halves. Now, I'm just going to rub off this PVC, this stuff from the saw. Now we're going to go over and we're going to make our big rectangle. We're going to put it all together. Step is to put all of this together. So, bring your PVC primer and glue with you, and you just do the same thing like you were putting the 90s on the other pipe. Let's prime it. Oh, I'm getting old. Put a bit of primer on there. Glue. Jam it in there. Remember to give it a twist. Hold it for a second. Blammo. Do the same thing to all three sides. And we'll be back once we got it done. Alright, so we got all of our end pieces together. As you can see, we've got our big base. Rectangle. Frame. The white square. Yeah, that's all I got. So our next part is going to be putting the hoops in. So all you do, and this is probably the easiest part of this whole job, is get your 1/2 inch PVC pipe. Remember those holes you drilled? Pull your 1/2 inch into the one hole, bring it down like He-Man. Put it in there. Bam. Now, normally it doesn't stand that well. It'll flop around. See what I mean? See? The filming God said, hey, watch this. But it'll stabilize when you get all your other ones in and then you put the middle one in. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and put the rest of ours in. And then we'll be back to show you how to secure your middle beam. Okay. Now, our middle piece. Okay? All you're going to do is get your hoop right about straight up and down. Okay? And you're probably going to need a helper on this part. So Ladessa, if you could grab that other end and just hold it straight up for me. Thank you. And then just take some zip ties. Do a little X. Now this is just to get it up. Try to eyeball it straight up and down. Limbo. Run around to this end real quick. Try to eyeball it where your stuff is straight up and down. Oop. Hold these, helper. Boom. Come off to the side. You got to look at it. Woo. Let go. Let go. And you just work it to get them as straight as possible. That'll kind of work. Now, one of the extra things that you can do, and my son did this on the first one without any instruction, but you can take a small drywall screw and put one in each end, and that'll help kind of stabilize it a little bit. And then you can also run them down through right on the outside of your holes. That'll give you a little bit of extra stability also. All right, so we're going to do that, and then our next step is putting the chicken wire over it. So we're going to run through that real quick, get it all stabilized, and get the chicken wire cut, and then we'll be back to show you how we fasten the chicken wire on.
This is the second time I've tried to do this voiceover because the first time I forgot to turn on the microphone. So what happened, ladies and gentlemen, is that our audio just disappeared. We have no idea where it went. And so now in this short clip I'm telling you, hey, I forgot to tell you, you need a pair of side cutters to cut off the tops of the zip ties. So that's what we're doing here as I do it so graciously. And then we're going to dip in to talk about the chicken wire on top of the chicken tractor. Okay, so now we're talking about the chicken wire. And I'm talking about how it has to go over the top and down side to side. At least that's what I think I'm talking about. I have no idea what I was talking about in the video because I don't remember, because I got extremely stressed out when I came into post-production and I had no audio. So now I'm just going to try to tell you exactly what I'm talking about without trying to sound too crazy. So now I'm saying that we had to cut the chicken wire in 3 sections. You have to come up 30 inches for the door. Pull out the marker, make your mark. Boop. And I'm explaining about the door, which you'll see more later in the video because that audio was working. And so I'm talking about the chicken wire, putting it on top, doing great, cool hand gestures like I know what I'm talking about. I turn back around, talking about my daughter, going to pick up the chicken wire, talking about the chicken wire, I don't know what I'm saying, and I think I'm talking about how it goes over the top. I'm just straining to pick it up, almost fall on the dog, because the dog was just minding his own business. It's not like he stepped out to try to trip me. And we're going to close it up. Dog's leaving Dodge because he knows it's not safe there anymore. And we're folding it down, and Ladessa's getting her end done faster than I am because I'm over here wrestling with it. We come down to the bottom. Now, at the bottom, I'm telling you that you need to put 2 zip ties together to be able to go around the bottom pipe and then zip tie it to the bottom pipe. This chicken tractor, remember, this is just for your meat birds, your roosters that you've hatched out that you're eventually going to send to freezer camp. So this is just a quick, simple chicken tractor to get these birds out on grass. So this chicken tractor is not meant to run through the winter time or anything like that. So now we're moving over to the other side. I'm talking about how you got to make sure you can secure it on both 1/2-inch PVCs. Now I'm picking up the center section that would be for your door. Remember, that's about 30 inches up from the bottom. This is where I'm going to fade out because in the next section the audio comes back. So I hope you enjoyed this voiceover edition.
Welcome back. Now, as you can see, we've got all of that taken care of. So now we're going to put the ends on. We left this little small section right here sticking out so that way we can take our chicken wire and hang it on that to make sure that we get both ends. So what you need to do is you need to measure from the top to the bottom, left to right, and that's how big of a piece of chicken wire you need. Then get yourself a little helper. They're great. They work for cookies. And have them come over here. Thank you, Ladessa.
You're welcome, Daddy.
And then you just kind of eyeball it. Let her stretch her end out. Okay. Reel your end out. Make sure you get all the way to the corner. You make it to the corner. She makes it to the corner. And then hook it on its closest hole right there. Stretch your side out. to make sure you reach the corner, and we do. If there's a zip tie down there that you can hook onto, that's great. But if not, then you come back up to the top. And another reason why that we did this is so that way you can do what I've always been taught has been called walking the dog. Where you zip tie, you start up here, and you just zip tie, and you start bringing it down. Okay, and that way you don't have to fight as much with the rolling of the wire because of the memory in the wire. Okay, so we're going to get that done. Then we're going to change locations. We're going to take this outside because we're going to work on the door. So that way we can get a better angle and you guys can see everything on the door. So we'll see you once we get all that done. All right, we're back from lunch. We took a little lunch break in between the other two. All right, what we've done is we've moved outside so you guys can see the hole for the door. We went ahead and we finished securing both those sides, and we went ahead and just trimmed off all the excess chicken wire. Now we're going to put their shade cloth on top. Remember, like I told you guys, it was nothing more than this reflective material. I'm trying not to show it too much into the camera because the sun's straight up and down and it will blow it out. So, but this is it right here. All we do is just run it over the top like such. Unfold it a little bit, bring it up a little bit, and then we just puncture little holes in it and we secure it with zip ties also. We're going to do that, then we'll be back and we'll talk about the door. Alright, you can see we got our pretty little reflector, heat resistant barrier on, shelter thingamabob. Now what we're going to do is make the door. The door is very simple. Remember, this is a chicken tractor that at the end of the summertime, you're going to hang on the side of a building, or you're going to take the hoops out and you're going to store it up in a loft somewhere and bring it down next summer. So that a lot of this is just, it's simple, so that way you can run roos from dual purpose breeds or just flat out meat birds on grass through the summertime. It's light, compactable, easy to go. So it's not, we're not trying to build Fort Knox here. This is really just really simple. Just remember to keep that in mind. So our door, I'm getting old. It consists of 4 pipes. 2 that are 27.5 inches long. 2 that are 18 inches long. We're going to use 3/4 inch 90s. Boom, boom. 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 Then we're going to cut us some chicken wire that's going to cover our door, and we're going to zip tie it. Okay? Then we're just going to run zip ties as our hinges. Just 2 zip ties, 1 at the top, 1 in the bottom, maybe 1 in the middle, just because we can. And then you're going to take another zip tie, run it around here, but leave the hoop, and that way you can attach it, and that'll be your wire fastener to close the door. Alright, we're going to put this together, come right back, and then we're going to put in the eyelids, tie it up with the rope to be able to pull it, and then we're going to be putting chicks in. We'll see you real soon. Okay, our final step before you take your chicken tractor to its location and put the birds in is to get these eye bolts in. Now these are 3/8 drive, or 3/8 eye bolts. And all you do is get you one that's long enough to run through your pipe, just in case you use a different dimension of pipe than we use. Get it so that way you got a good chunk to run through. Take your drill, come about a thumb distance from your 90, drill it in. Now, I put a flat washer on this side of it, and then Carol, she'll put a flat washer, then a lock washer, and then the nut, just to help secure it.
Okay, twist it.
Okay, got it. I don't want to twist it tight right here.
Make sure I don't get my fingers pinched. Okay, now we gotta flatten it.
Okay, and there you go. Now, we will run some 550 cord in between this as your pull rope, but we'll do that when we take it out there. All right, so the next time you see us, we'll be at the location where we're going to run these guys on some grass, and we're going to be putting the birds in. We're done. All right, we're out here on the pasture now with our new chicken tractors, and as you can see, the birds are in there. They're happy. They're hanging out in the shade. They're venturing out, eating some grass. They're doing their thing. Now, we'll run these birds up and down this pasture that we're standing in. We will move them at least once a day, if not 2-3 times a day, all depending on the weather and our heat index and how hot it is. We may scoot them over to get a little bit more shade to help them out. But that's it. That's how you can build a cheap, inexpensive, seasonal chicken tractor. Just get you some PVC, some chicken wire and some zip ties, and you can run them, and your birds can run on the grass from egg to plate in 16 to 18 weeks for these dual purpose breeds. I hope this helped you guys out. I want to invite you guys to go check out our website at www.bigbearhomestead.com. Come on over in the Facebook land, give us the old like, and if you enjoyed this video and it helped you out, please subscribe. And if you got any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And don't forget, we're a part of the Homesteading Network now, and so every Friday we are live in color from 8 to 10 on Fridays doing our live show. So come on by, check us out. I think you guys will enjoy it. Until then, like always, have a nice day.
Y'all come back now, here.